mouse noise come through?
It does. Like
Little
pretty bountifully.
yeah,
There's a lot of mouse
yeah.
sound to it.
Da, 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 da. Click clack, click clack, click clack, click clack.
You sound busier the more it clicks. You sound more
Yeah,
of a computer
real
nerd
busier.
with every click. Not busy, but like it seems more complex. Whatever you're doing sounds more complex with the more clicking you do.
Sounds like I'm trying to
So
hurry up and X out of a screen I shouldn't be on at work. No.
what the heck? 40 eggs is too.
Here we are. Yeah, I can't get away with it at work right now. Like I'm really busy. That's why I'm clicking. It's like you work in a grocery store.
You wouldn't
Click,
understand.
clack.
There's too many clicks.
I remember that when I was working at UT in 2008, kind of the
Yeah.
early 8, 9, the early eras of podcasts.
Mm.
I had the early adopter of the one earbud while at work because it was pretty. I mean, it's still frowned upon, I think, in a lot of places, but now just the world accepts it. That somebody always has an earbud in at any time. I mean, it happens at work all the time. I see it, and you got to be like, hey, you're not supposed to be wearing that, blah blah blah. But I got a lot of paperwork. I was just like, boom, one ear in, listen to the early casts, and of course that turned into then playing like online, going to like addictinggames.com. It's like once I had the green light to have one earphone in, it turned into like
right. That was just natural
slope.
progression.
Yeah.
Candystand.com I think
Yeah.
was an old time passer with like Candy Stand mini golf.
Yeah, just real stupid games that weren't good games, but you just really didn't want to do work. Like there was like 48 different escape rooms.
Yeah.
Where you had to like click on a candle stand or part of the wall, and really you're just clicking the screen, like just trying to find the spot where a door opens or a secret key shows up. A lot of like get the hot dogs from the griddle and put them into the buns for the stadium. It's like a lot of real productive gaming. Just a little league baseball. But yeah, then I started doing the games where you had to use the WASD keys and the mouse. Was as little as like I'm typing.
Man.
A lot of WASD in this document. A lot of up and down.
My
now
God,
I have to get mad at people for that.
This escalated from having an earbud in. See, you're the reason you ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
To just have a source of like music or something, like, because then it turns into no jackasses like Matt will, give an inch, take a mile.
Sorry, sucker, you can't do that. You know why? Because I pioneered it. They figured me out.
You've ruined corporate life for millions and millions of people. Congratulations. You must be proud.
Let's go.
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen.
Hello. Yeah, just coming in late. Wow, what a day. Home late from work. And I'll tell you, I remembered we were going to record all day until I started driving home from work. I just popped into the door. And I get the old John Travolta waiting meme. I was like, yep, there it is. There it is.
That's kind of why I think that's a big thing about, oh God, now what do I say? GIFs. Sorry, it is what it is. But I like them because they can get the point across without typing words. And it still adds, what's nice is that it gives a intonation. Because you can't use GIFs in a serious tone. Like if something was an actual problem, you can't get across your message with a GIF. There is a sense of humor to it. So I like that because majority of things I am asking the question, where are you, Matt? but I don't need it to come off as being like, yo, what the heck, bro? We said we were going to like, so it's just send a Travolta gif of him looking around the room from Pulp Fiction and it gets the point across. That's it. And then you responded and I re-responded with another gif. There was no words actually.
There was another one. I didn't even see it.
There was no
I
words
was
that
in
even
such a rush. I
responded.
didn't see, but so I got the John Travolta, and then if you had any integrity, you would quit from John Malkovich.
Yeah, your job. You would quit your job. If you had any integrity, you'd quit your job so that you were never late to the podcast again.
But that would have turned from a GIF. If I didn't respond within like 3 minutes, that would have turned into like, seriously, what the fuck?
Like, I don't know. It's always kind of curious because
5 minutes, yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
You know what's funny is the last episode I called brain stuff, and we were talking about how our brains are dying, and I realized they are because I was looking at the titles of our other episodes, like we just put that clip out that maybe talked about a hot air balloon as a shitty Wonka Vader. And we did that because we had one of our 3 words was balloon, and he went to hot air balloon. And I was like, because we didn't use it the last time it was on, but there was an episode titled Hot Balloon Air Rises. So we definitely did talk about balloon air. Like, we're just like, this is a real relationship. Like, we don't remember what we even talked about. And I can't be held accountable for it.
Yeah, that's not my fault. That's I don't know. It's not my fault. I'm not going to accept it. So,
like, do you think if people weren't allowed to talk about the same things over and over again, I mean, where would the relationship be? It'd be like, here, check back. Well, let's have a pen pal. Let's have correspondence. Like, that's the only way you could really have a relationship.
Right. So, like, I don't know, stuff gets repeated. There's, just gets described in different ways. It gets rehashed. Memories are discussed. That's how friendships work. And if you don't like it, subscribe and then get the hell out. Yeah, subscribe, give us 5 stars and get the hell out. You know what our motto is. It's that now. Subscribe, give us 5 stars and get the hell out. Tell a friend. Tell a friend on your way out.
Yeah. Yeah. Refer them.
But
refer them to our podcast.
Did you get out of work late?
Yeah, I had to work. I had my training today. I thought I was going to get out at 5, but I didn't get out till 5:30. And then that turned into like 5:45. You know how fun it gets. You know how it gets.
Dog shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
No,
but I'm firing, dude. I got that energy, that post-work energy where all you want to do is go to sleep. I've got it in my body right now, and I can't express it at all.
Wow. We are getting Matt. We are getting peak Matt right now. I just want to go to sleep. Good. Yep. Use it on the court.
Referral. Let's get into the 3 words early.
Okay.
We don't do that a lot.
Let's.
So, you guys, hey, Strange Fam, you guys know how we do this pod. We pick 3 words, or somebody does, and we use those to engage us in conversation. And you know what? Sometimes we start with that word, and then we just go off on a tangent and never address it again. That's part of our charm.
Yeah.
But the 3 words today, they're going to help us, reestablish this friendship, blah, 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 etc.
and things and stuff. And
fundamentals is project, referral, and impulse.
Mm-hmm. Good word.
So I would say our most challenging. What are these SAT words?
Yep.
I don't even get it.
So
project, referral, impulse.
You seemed like referral was on your docket to go. Did you have something locked and loaded?
I did say I did use it.
You did.
That's probably the only reason I could use it. Oh, you know what? I can think of one.
Okay.
Well, my buddy Brett and I were looking for an apartment. So our one buddy, Chris, left. It was the 3 of us for a few years, whatever. And he went to move with his girlfriend, whatever. Big moves. Congratulations on having a girlfriend. Now wife with a kid. So solid move. I'm not gonna argue the move. But I left 2 gentlemen, 2 single, handsome gentlemen out looking for an apartment. So it's like, what do you do in a city? You got to go to the areas where it's gentrifying, Like they're going to want 2 strapping lads to come in there, get an apartment
Who's
in a neighborhood that's on the up and come. Yeah, you got to find out the spots where all the big apartment complexes industries are buying up and trying to like remodel these apartments. So we went to one called The Arrangement, and They
That
really
sounds
wanted us.
terrifying.
We had an agent. We had like a rental agent or whatever who I don't know why we did, but she like referred us to this place, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? You can get your first month free or no security deposit, something real spicy, for the
Yeah,
deal." You're
sure.
like, "Wow, they really want us, Brett. Like, we should take it. They got a pool. We'll play slap the bag there. The aforementioned slap the bag. They got a gym, where we can glisten together."
Sure.
And it was in a rougher neighborhood, but on the up and coming, as we said. And like I said, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I? And we did it. We signed on the line, and um, then our leasing agent gave us like a little plant, like a welcome home plant, and we're like, wait, they think we're a gay couple coming in to this apartment. And that's why they were like trying to get us, like reach out, like, hey, let's diversify this population. And I don't know what did it, like for them. Must have been the fingers in the mouth or something like that. But I don't know
Yeah,
what gave it away.
it was probably the passionate kissing while
Yeah,
talking to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're ever looking to get a free deal on an apartment that's kind of in a up and coming area, just express your love to your brother. Just have it.
Okay.
You know what?
Interesting.
You can kiss. Yeah. And you can
That's a
date for a little while.
strategy. Oh,
It's
right.
okay. You can still be friends after. But you want that
That's
first
good.
month's free. That no security deposit. And sure, you know what? Did we both end up getting like our scooters stolen from there? Of course we did. Was there a break-in into the mailroom at Christmas where people stole TVs and electronics and they didn't accept any of the responsibility? Sure, yeah. That was part of it. Did we see hookers having sex in vehicles right next to our parked vehicles? Of course, yeah. That's part of it. You know what? But that
Right.
free month's rent at the beginning was worth it.
Right. And you said there was a pool. So
There was a pool. Yep. A big old pool.
I mean,
and it was chlorinated, heavily chlorinated.
well, because all the pee and murders and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a lot of probably off-putting things going on in that pool.
Dude, it was such a sketchy neighborhood. But that's part, you gotta find yourself in a sketchy neighborhood at some point in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've lived in lots of apartments and houses and stuff like that. Obviously, college townhouses. After moving off campus, both in a heavily college area and then one the other side of the eastern side of town in Oswego where there's less college people and more townies. But yeah, I've had my fair share of questionable living situations, and yeah, you know what? You grow from it, you learn from it, then you keep, you make poor decisions for years and years until you try to stop or make a little less. Referrals makes me think of getting to the corporate world and for working for companies and having work referrals where they're like, listen, if you recommend us to someone and they get hired, you'll get money. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I know so many humans. Every single time I've had someone get a referral, they've never been hired. And it's a really awkward situation.
Like, did they even do it? Like do the application and get an interview? They just didn't get it?
Yeah. And that's the worst part is that it's just like, oh, did you hear back? Yeah, I didn't get the job. And I'm like, bummer, man. And then it's just like, I have no idea how to console someone when they didn't get the job at the work that I work at.
Yeah, that's like the easiest way in.
Well, and then how do you do it when it's just like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I crushed it. Like, obviously I got hired. Like, I don't know. I put my neck out for you, I guess. It's not even that because it doesn't look bad on us. Like, at least not to my knowledge, because I've had promotions and stuff like that. But it's just weird because like, I feel bad because I'm like, did this person think they were going to get hired? Like, because they put me as a referral, like, did that give them leverage, but they still didn't get hired? Did it not matter? But like, it's a bummer because I've done it at, my both works multiple times and I've never had anyone actually get the job. And a lot of referral bonuses don't come until like they've been with the company for 3 months and then 6 months. I'm like, I need some of these people to get hired. And they're really capable. Like, especially when I went and changed jobs, and I have people from my old employer trying to get jobs at my new employer, and they're not getting hired. I'm like, but I've seen them do this exact job and they're good at it. Like, I don't understand why we're not hiring them. And then I train people and I see some of the people that do get hired, and I'm like, hold on. My friend with all of this experience and stuff couldn't get hired, but this dingleberry, this person who is like choking on their tongue, they're the one we're picking up and being like, you know what? I see a lot of potential in you. Like, I don't understand.
Where does it go wrong? Do you
I
think your
don't
word
know.
is worth nothing in your company?
But then
Did they blow
fire
it?
me. Then fire me. Why are you letting me be a trainer? That's really weird. If you let me be a trainer and you think I'm an idiot, I don't know. Questionable. Now it sounds like I'm questioning the intelligence of my company for keeping someone like me as a trainer. So I don't even know what my point of this is, but now it's turned into me like bashing myself. But for those of you that
I'm
are
wondering
listening,
yeah. What? Say it. Go
I
ahead.
was
We're
going
on
to
a
say,
delay
for
here.
those
It's
of you
great.
that are listening, if you've ever put me down as a referral, I'm really sorry, and we'll try again after 6 or 9 months, whatever that is, and we'll keep trying, and I'll give you a cut of the referral, because now I really want to just know that my word's still good.
That's true, because you would want them. I mean, you could be just using this as a platform to just, make yourself seem like you're a good guy and this is all on the up and up, when in reality, you were out just this guy. Like, I'm putting my name down here. Instead of $500 for me for hiring him, give me $100. And I'm going to tell you now, don't take him. He's an idiot. And I'm going to save you thousands of dollars in the long run.
That's an interesting concept.
The reverse referral.
The reverse referral.
Yeah.
I think that'll take off. I think corporate America would like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'll get a referral. So Lisa Jones, back at the Weggies, working in the deli. She is a worker. She is contributing member to society once again.
She's working at the deli?
Yep.
Yeah.
So she worked at Wegmans in like 1999 as overnight cashier. And then just kind of like got the text one day, hey, I applied for a job at Wegmans. I was like, all right, here we go. She's been there for a couple weeks. I think she likes it, but it's interesting because like everybody, like people just come up to me now. It's like, hey, I met a nice lady today. And I was like, oh yeah, who? And I met your mom today. It's like, I'm sure you did. And it's like, I wonder how. She's just like that. It's just her way of being like, I'm Matt's mom. I'm Matt's mom. I'm Matt's mom. It's like, how do they know? Yeah. How do they know that you're my mom? I don't know. I really don't know. So
That's really
I'm expecting
weird.
the podcast to explode. She's definitely one of those that'll be like, did you ever listen to my son's podcast? Yeah. You talk shit about work on it. Yeah, you should listen to it.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to pitch it to work. I have never pitched it to anyone at work. I don't think anyone at my work knows. I don't know.
A couple people at my work know, but I think it's just through connections, especially like if they saw it on Facebook, like when you posted it or something like that.
Okay.
They may have seen it. So,
okay.
I mean, I need to be careful about what I say, but I'm not, and I won't, but I need to. It's like one of those.
Listen, I don't think either one of us have talked ill of our employer, nor will I. I have general opinions on things and industry and society as a whole. And that's like me complaining about humans and acting like, hey, guy on the street, this guy whose podcast said something negative about you. I'm like, no. In my defense, I just hate humans. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah?
I said more negative about me. You weren't listening.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Self-deprecation. Project. Now that could also be pronounced project. So, that adds a whole different flair to it.
Are you going to use it?
I did go for no, I did not. So
all right.
For projects, we talked about my inability to find enjoyment in education at my young age, and everything was a hassle. However, when I got to my major classes, my marketing, like capstone classes, I loved it. And one project I had was in my advertising class. And so we had to come up We didn't come up with a product. What we had to do is take an existing product and market it and come up with an idea to market it to a different demographic than what it's already
All right.
regularly marketed at.
I'm listening.
So some people, I remember one group in my class, like I didn't have any friends in the class, no fraternity brothers, nothing like that, which would obviously be my go-to for picking groups. So I was just thrown together with some other people. I don't remember if we picked or if we were just assigned, but I remember one person, like one group did like marketing Trix cereal to like adults. And I'm like, that's a little tough. So what we did is, so mind you, it's 2007 to set the mood. I said, let's market iPods to like the baby boomer generation, to like our parents' generation, because at that time in 07, like iPods certainly were not being used by our parents' generation.
You can't fit a piece of vinyl into it.
So I loved it. I'm like, I hit the ground running. We had to have like a presentation, a marketing research paper / binder, a radio commercial that we had to do, and a TV commercial that we had to do. Like we had to actually like record and produce and direct these commercials and everything. That was the whole marketing project. So I go, I don't want to research anything and I don't want to write anything. I go, I will do all the legwork for the advertisements. And I'm like, you guys just do everything else. People were generally cool with that. So dude, I was so proud of it. Like that is my shining. Yeah, that's my shining moment. So our slogan
was it a life-defining moment?
Our slogan was iGeneration, myGeneration.
Oh.
That rhymes.
Shit. Did you get the Who involved?
Yeah, right. I did not. That would have been good. Yeah. Our radio ad was, you'd hear Aerosmith's Walk This Way playing. Okay. And then you can hear a guy over it singing along with it. But you can hear the song and then you hear a guy singing along with it. And then all of a sudden it fades. You hear, what? And then it fades out from that song to like church organs. And you hear a woman's voice go, hey, what did I tell you about bringing your iPod to church? She's like, everyone can hear you.
Shit.
And so then we go into the cut and we're just like, take your music wherever, whenever. iGeneration, myGeneration. Please use responsibly. And then it goes back to the church organ music. And the guy's like, do you think anyone noticed? And she's like, well, you were playing a pretty mean air guitar. And that was a radio commercial. People loved it.
Dude, that's just cheesy enough to work.
It's so cheesy,
it's so
and it's
lame.
radio. It's so radio.
Lame.
It's so radio, which is shit. If you listen to the radio, terrestrial or satellite, radio commercials are the bane of my existence because I listen to a lot of radio and they're terrible. It's clearly written by people with zero creativity and stuff. So I thought it was chalked up to be perfect. TV ad. It's just a guy sitting at the table and the camera just slowly zooming in on him. He goes, okay. And it's like a voiceover. He's just like writing a list, but in his head is like, okay, I got to pick up so-and-so at school, drop him off at hockey practice. Then I have to pick up this person from this person's house and bring him to my mother's. Then I have to go get the groceries, blah, 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 all by 7:00 so that I can make dinner and put the kids to bed. And it's like this huge laundry list of stuff. And he goes like, oh man, I'm going to need my Super Dad playlist for this. And he pulls up an iPod and presses play, and all of a sudden it's Eye of the Tiger starts to dun, and then it just cuts to the abrupt black screen and says iPod or Apple iPod, iGeneration, myGeneration. Dude, I loved it. Like advertising, like that's what my theory of was taking marketing. Taking marketing was made me think of now, folks, this is before Mad Men. But my idea was, I'm like, I want to write advertisements. I'm like,
I mean, not really. Mad Men was in the 60s, dude.
You're an idiot. I hate you. Anyway, yeah. So like that's my project. But a side note to not only did I love that project, but I had to throw someone under the bus to save my soul, or not save my soul, to save my grades, really.
Oh.
So we get the binder. This person, Jillian, was in our group. And she's like, yeah, I did all the marketing research and everything. And I go, okay. So we had to hand it in for the draft. Like a week before the project was fully due. And I was elected as being like the head of the group. So he's like, Jeff, can I talk to you, wait back and talk to you as we're leaving class? I'm like, okay. Dr. Cuthill, may he rest in peace, he's like, Jeff, he's like, you got a lot of good ideas, in your drafts and stuff. He's like, I have some issues with your paper in the research. I go, oh? He's like, shows me the copy, and there's just massive red lines all over it. And he's like, I searched this. He's like, and this is like taken exactly from someone else's wording. Like, he's like, this is like, what do you call it? Plagiarism. He's like, this is all plagiarized. He's like, this is not reworded. It's not like, and I'm
You're
like,
not expecting this.
yeah, I'm like, all right, Dr. Cowdell. I'm like, the person who is in charge of writing the paper together. I'm like, I didn't edit her work at all because this was the draft. I'm like, I did not anticipate that she would do such a thing.
Wow.
And I look at it, and one of it said like, Apple intends in 2006 to do that. I go, oh, good. Oh, yeah, that does look plagiarized because we're talking about 2006 as if it's in the future and it's 2007. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. You even took old articles with date specific stuff in there and didn't even change that. So I email her. She never responds. So I'm like, you need to like, we have a presentation on this on the next day or whatever. So I call up the other two guys. One guy's name was Matt and the other guy's name was Tiago. He was from Brazil. I remember this. And I'm like, guys, this is the situation. Jillian completely plagiarized this whole thing. I'm like, I'm just going to try to do some stuff. I'm like, move things around, reword things. I'm like, and try to do in proper citations. She still never responds. She doesn't show up on the date of our presentation. And she says there was an emergency or anything that she doesn't go into. And then she's like, did we get our grades back? I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm like, but on the day that you didn't show up for the meeting, I'm like, I told Dr. Caudill that you like ghosted us and that you were the one that plagiarized the whole thing. I fixed it, but he knows that you like your involvement in this whole operation. This was the last thing I ever said to her. And I'm like, I wonder whatever happened to her grade. If Caudill
I'm not even going to dignify myself with a response to that.
Exactly. So
awesome.
Yeah, it was wild. So that's things. Projects, man, kicking people off projects blows. A buddy of mine, Chris, was on one of my teams, and I had to kick him off of a project because he just stopped showing up to stuff. And it was really awkward because the rest of the team wanted me to do it. I didn't understand how it was my responsibility, but he was a good guy, and I never wanted to do it.
It's easy to kick somebody out if they're not showing up for it. It's like, hey,
yeah,
it's an easy conversation. It's like, why I'm saying this.
Yeah, it is. It's justified. It's certainly justified, but it still sucks to have to do because you're like you almost want to be like, man, if I was in the same position, I hope someone would just lie and say that I contributed and give me the grade as well. And then you're like, well, I guess it's not really reasonable. So you ever had to kick someone out of a project?
Not that I can think of. I mean,
oh, cool, Gate. Everyone does all of the work. Everyone contributes. A bunch of fucking nerds hanging out in their nerderies.
I can't even think of one.
Go to state college where kids are lazy.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely did presentations, stuff like that. I don't really remember. I mean, I think of projects number one, for projects, the reason I don't remember is because I didn't spend that much time doing it because I would do it the last night. And I kind of miss that. I miss the nostalgia of going to the library and building a fort of books that were my research that I had to go through, like do 18 hours straight at the library. And it was just being really stressed, but then getting it done, walking in and getting my B+ after just, spending the whole semester not doing it. And I still kind of carried a lot of that. I've been developing a little more as a person lately. As I've reached 40, is trying
in my
to do
40s,
things, space it out a little more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm really maturing. Look out, 50s. I'm gonna be a new man.
Really starting to round out, come into my own.
Yeah. But I like little just stupid shit that makes me feel like I remember in Austin, I used to ride a bicycle a lot, like a 10 speed, and like just putting like a new chain on, like not knowing how to do it, but figuring it out or learning it, and then putting a new grip tape on, or like just fucking around with that when I got into, because I get like this very addictive personality to little things as they, and I just really want to know everything about it. Same with fishing this year, like learning how to tie different knots and learning different baits and different styles of like reeling in and different types of rods. rods. And I like that. Like those are little projects to me, and like because anything that kind of like you, if you like it, it's easy to latch onto it, and I'll spend like an infinite amount of time on something I'm really into. um, and things I don't like. So today I had that meeting or whatever, the training this morning, and I had to do a presentation, um, a 90-second presentation, and I made it up last night in like 30 minutes. And it like this morning I slept fine. I did know I was like I can't see. It used to be where I'd get up in the morning, I'd like almost go all the way to literally the last minute to get up and study or to finish something, and now at least I'm good about like knowing that I won't be able to sleep if I don't finish it tonight. Because I was like, oh, I'll
Okay.
just get up in the morning and type this up, and I was like, no, because I'm gonna have a weird nightmare of not even a real nightmare of just something stupid where I didn't finish something, and it's gonna like fuck with my sleep. It's like I can just go to sleep by putting in 30 minutes of B plus effort into this thing, and nobody's gonna care because I don't know. That's my whatever. It's my superpower is getting away with stupid shit that doesn't matter. That's no stakes to it. If it doesn't have stakes to it, I can get away with it unscathed for the most part. And there were, it's like, you know what? Maybe this class is perfect. It's Carnegie, it's salesman. I can be a salesman. Um, and I half-assed this thing today, and but I did it last night instead of this morning. So there you go. I'm getting better.
Great job.
I don't know if that makes sense, dude. I'm like all
No.
over the place right now.
Yeah, no, barely. I'm hanging on, but
Yeah.
yeah, projects are tough. I want someone there who knows what they're doing, telling me what to do, because I don't have zero confidence in doing something on my own. Like I built a shelf downstairs in the basement for storage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like probably the most accomplished I've ever felt in my personal life.
Yeah.
And it's just a very, very, very simple, like 6 foot long shelf with 3 tiers on it. But it is the most
So I
accomplished
mean,
I've
like
ever
little
felt.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
little mechanical things, like small little things around the house. If I've ever fixed it, like I stare at it. Like if I put together a little desk or a table, like I'll stare at it for like 20 minutes and be like, "Fuck yeah, look at that! I did it! I did it! I don't care that I had to follow directions. I didn't fuck it up.
Yo,
That's
IKEA,
all that
you guys
matters."
didn't think I could do it, and I pulled it off. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Boom
projects are
shakalaka!
cool. It, it makes me want, like, it makes me so jealous though of like my friends that are big time DIYers, like handy guys. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you do this. I don't understand how your brain works. Like a friend telling me that he can put a half bath in my basement. He's like, oh yeah, that'd be easy. Like, what do you mean it's easy? I'm like, no, that makes me feel really bad about myself. And just being like, oh yeah, you could do this, you could do this. And I'm like, how does this just happen in your brain? I have a rotted step at my house that I need to fix, and I have zero idea what to do. And I'm pretty sure I just need to buy a board and like take out the rotted one and then replace it. But that even in itself seems so horribly intimidating that I want like an adult here to show me how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about really sucking up my pride and going to my neighbor next door who he builds everything under the sun and being like, can you help me with making this bad piece of wood not bad? Like, and just being like, but really, I need your help. I'm desperately need your assistance. So I don't have
But that's
confidence in
part of
that
like
stuff.
managing a project, is like knowing like where your strengths are and
Right.
knowing what you need and asking people. Like
Yep.
I think the best thing, honestly, YouTube is the greatest thing in the world, because like when I had an alternator die a couple years, like obviously my dad called him, he helped me. He knows about cars, but it's like specific to 2012 Toyota Corolla LE alternator. But and like looked up a YouTube video of it, watched 12 minutes, and we both figured out, okay, we gotta, this is how it, this is where the nuts are,
Yeah.
and this is where the balls are.
Come
Alternate.
on.
And but we figured it out. Like you can use YouTube's great, becoming an instant expert on something you don't know, just for those small little projects. And I enjoy it. I like it. Even when editing, like whether it's the podcast, whether making these little videos, like that's a project to me. And it's something I like doing. And I still have to make myself do it because there is the busy work of it. But it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. When I did the working in or going to Colgate and we did Redondo TV. Speaking of marketing, like making a commercial
Yeah.
about New Balance for your face because New Balances were hot, and it's like, don't you want a New Balance face tattoo? We made a commercial for it. It's like I used to love like editing that shit. And it would take like hours and hours to do it, and it was like it can be grinding work, but I enjoy it. Like it had that perfect balance
Ho-
of like creativity with like
So,
the minutia of like doing things.
to remind our viewers and listeners, Redondo was born in 2003 or 2002.
I think
Okay.
2002.
Maybe your sophomore year is when it
Yeah,
started.
that's right. Yep.
Um, how did you put it on websites? How did I have episodes of Redondo at college? Because I
Oh,
showed people. I
it was
was the
before
outlet to the
YouTube.
other random place in New York. So we had the lockdown on two obscure towns in upstate New York of where there was exposure to Redondo TV, Hamilton
I
and
wonder.
Oswego.
The only thing I can think is because it was before YouTube,
Yeah.
but some of our clips got onto College Humor, and then,
I had
but
full
maybe I sent you.
episodes that you might have
I
emailed
must
it
have
to
sent
me.
you a digital,
Yeah,
or I
because
put it
I
on
had
a
it
CDR,
I had it
a
on like
digital
Windows.
copy.
I think I had it on Windows Media Player on my computer, and that's how I was showing people.
Yeah, yeah. But that was fun. I mean, like I never learned how to edit before that. I got really into it, and I still like it to this day. Even when I sit down to do it, like when I make these little clips, or like especially like if I've been streaming gaming a lot, like making
Mm-hmm.
little highlight vids, like sitting down, it's always a chore to do it, but it's a chore that I love. So it's because I would imagine it's like painting or finger painting, um, or finger stuff. It's like you don't want to get into it, you know what, right away. But once you do, you're happy you did. It's rewarding.
Sure, sure. Your brain had an impulse that made you talk like that.
It
So,
did. I have
um,
sexy impulses.
what's one of the fun now? Impulse obviously is kind of a relative term, but what's a random quick decision or a quick chain of events that you subjected yourself to? Like, did you go on any random trips or anything like that? Like one I can think of is a buddy of mine back at work in 2018 was like, "Hey, I'm taking my son to a baseball game at Fenway. Do you want to go?" He's like, "This is Monday," and he's like, "It's Wednesday." I'm like, "When?" He's like, "Wednesday at 1 o'clock," and I'm like, "How are you driving?" And he's like, "No, I'm flying there." And so we flew out of Buffalo. I took the time off on Tuesday, so on Wednesday we woke up, went to the airport, flew out of Buffalo to Boston, took the train to Fenway, went to a 1 o'clock game, took the train back to the airport, and flew home. And I was back in Buffalo by 8 p.m., ready to go to work the next day. And I'm like, what just happened? I'm like I went to Boston to watch a baseball game and back in one day, and that was fun. I like impulsive stuff like that. I try to do I try to do things like that because I think today it has a feeling of like, well, yeah, you could do that when you're younger, but you got to be responsible and make better decisions. But I don't make enough trips and do stuff like that to entertain myself, and I think I need to.
I mean, I would say I lived the majority of the time that we didn't talk to each other on impulse. A
Okay,
lot of my life is based around that.
okay.
I think we sort of talked about it, but whether it was buying things like um, just parties, just people I hung out with, just whatever, I kind of always jumped on whatever. My philosophy on this was um, do what it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like there's one life to live, but it was, I need to feel good, whatever that means. Like I want to feel good. There's a a deep pit of depression, I think that's what that is, that I can't fill with job related things per se, or, wholesome relationships, but I can fill them with finger stuff, just, or just, I mean, it's just literally just like whatever. I mean, peer pressure was easy for me. Like, because once I like started opening up in college to people, stuff like that, um, experimenting with drink, things got a lot easier, and I started to appreciate it. And I was like, wow, I was missing out, and I probably tried to catch up too hard on stuff, and then I don't know, and I wouldn't say I'm as subject to it anymore. Like now, it's more like my impulse is to, again, go home. Man, I'd love to go home and just not do anything, or just but I have to make myself. So whether it's, like last month or something, like went to a double A's game, a work event that I didn't necessarily want to go, but I was like, hey, let me go and make myself socialize. And it is rewarding to do it. And then friends from work, like, hey, well, we're out doing karaoke. You want to come do karaoke? And I was like, I've already done one thing tonight. I think I'm good. I've exhausted my week with that activity. I don't know if I have the social battery, but then all I had to be was like, I don't know, sad face or whatever. It's like, oh, you should come out. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But I'm like, it's like, I'm glad I do it. So I think my impulse will always be to do whatever seems like it's the most fun thing, at the expense of money and just I don't know,
Reason,
just
like
sensible, yeah,
being
all that stuff.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have a better balance now. I mean, truthfully, but I don't want to lose it in a way. I guess I'd be scared more to lose that, like the fun of that, or you know, maybe I have.
Do
Maybe I'm
you
saying
think
these things and I'm like, you're a boring ass fucker. You don't do shit
do
anymore. I
you
don't know.
think is there anyone out there that was wild in high school and then really buckled down when it came to college? Are there the opposite people? Like we're examples of people that maybe let loose once the college life hit.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
with
there
the
must be, right?
I g- I guess. I
Because
mean,
people
yeah.
hit it
Like, is
at
there
different
people that are
times in their
like,
lives.
listen,
Like,
yeah, that's true. But do they ever have that epiphany to calm down so early after high school that they're like, for college, I really got to focus? Like if you go to college right
I don't
outside of
know.
high school, I mean, so you're an 18-year-old and you're like, no, I used to be a madman in my 15, 16, and 17 years of age, but it's game time now.
It would have to be like DWI related or something. There has to be like an external,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, okay, like a
thing.
specific wronging incident.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to
Okay.
give that up in your early 20s, I would think, if you're already on that path.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
probably
are there people that like
agree.
get it later, maybe around like 50, like just hit it and it's like, it's about time I settle down, really start taking this life thing seriously.
Yeah, I
Probably.
mean, yeah, but maybe that's when they start to
I feel like I'm on the
truly
short road to
live.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Because I also don't, speaking of the shit, I mean, I don't want to lose, yeah, whatever it is, the impulse, the silly, like sometimes I get mad at myself at work if I, like, again, if it's like an earbud conversation, I'm like, I don't want to be like the man, but it's just like, this is the policy, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't always, whatever. I don't do it every time. So I'm like, not to be cool, but I'm like, I also don't care necessarily about every little thing. If it's, as long as like work's getting done, it's not affecting people. I'm not going to
Choosing
like
your
go
battles,
gung ho on every
man.
policy. Yeah, basically. But I don't ever want to be in a position where I take it too seriously or I miss out on the fun
And it's especially, I think,
of life.
especially when it comes to work. I think work is the hardest thing in life to balance. As far as like, you don't ever want to stop being you, and you feel like there's a lot of, it's the biggest requirement where you have to stop being you, and like that's frustrating. Like if you don't feel
Yeah.
like that at work, that's got to be great. And like working, like that's problem is it's tough working in corporate America. You have to, everyone always like, be yourself at work and stuff like that. And I can more be myself at work. But if we're being honest, like there's a lot of things I disagree with that I think are just a corporate, corporate way of doing things just to address any situations before they can arise by having a laundry list of regulations and don't do these and no lists and stuff like that. And sometimes it does. I think sometimes it dehumanizes you and you're just like, I don't care about any of this. Like, I don't wish
Yeah.
ill on the company, and I'm not looking to burn the whole, world down, but it's like, I don't care about this. Like, in all fairness, swearing at work is weird to me, that's seen as being like unprofessional and such a aghast. Like, just to casually swear. I casually swear. And that shouldn't be an issue. But like, it's like, oh, you can't say that at work. It's like, why the fuck not? Like, well, you're good at your job, but you said this word that kind of is a no word. Oh, did I attack someone with it? Well, no, but you can't just like say shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Can't say
goodness.
adulty things.
Right. And I think that's stupid because it's like, well, like it humanizes it. And like, we're all like, to say like, oh, can't use that word at work. Like, I'm not talking about aggressive words towards people and, certain stuff like that, but to throw away words like shit and fuck. Like, yeah, I've literally taken away all powers of those words because I use them so casually. So like, I don't see it as a big deal. And it's weird to me that we focus on stuff like that, probably to a detriment, because it makes everything seem less natural.
Plus, they're just words that have meaning, and they work. Like,
Right.
why are we going to ignore these words? Dude, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was going to go with that, but fuck, man. You're right. You're right, dude.
See?
I mean,
Yeah.
I always feel like somebody trusts me when they start swearing, like, oh, this is a bunch of shit. It's like, good. I'm in the trust circle now. I feel it.
Especially if it's a higher up.
Yeah.
Oh my. Ooh, this man would never talk like this in a meeting, but he's talking like this to me.
Like they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while I wouldn't. And then it's like, oh my God, this is bullshit. And it's like, oh yeah, here we go.
Right.
We're in.
And you invest more in that person when they act like that to you. Like, you're like, okay, like, oh my God, I can't find the balance between natural light and unnatural light. That was so aggressive. I'm going to do it again. Oh God. But yeah, you can't, like, you want to, if they are someone who is at a higher, like an upper level compared to you, you almost want to do better for them when they will level with you. Just like, and empathy too. Like, if they're like, yeah, this is a policy, I don't really buy it, I don't really understand why we're doing it, but we're just going to do it. Like, I don't fucking care. And you're just like, okay, yeah, me too. Like, it's when they're just like, well, actually, guys, the policy is blah, 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 blah. And it's like, here's this reasons of why. And it's like, so that makes it good. And you're just like, ugh. Like, you're just handing it down from somewhere else, from someone else, from someone else, from someone else. And it's just, I don't know. We focus on so many of the wrong things instead of wondering what actually needs to be done.
Well, that's why I think living on a healthy balance of impulse is important. Because there was a kid who saw the clip at work. He's 18, but he's like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if it turned him off in a way of like, dude, you were so cool, but now I saw this and you're like the devil. I don't think it's that extreme, but I think it was like maybe the clip where I said I asked out a stripper or something, and I was like, I don't even care if she has kids. He's like, do you even care if she had kids? And I was like, what? I mean, I didn't remember what he was saying.
Why
but
is
I was
that
like,
negative?
Oh, I don't know. It was like 20 years ago, but I was like, listen, friend, you got to live your life like that sometimes, though. You got to make mistakes. You got to try new things. Cause like, if you get sucked into this, whatever, here I go, being a punk. If you get sucked into that corporate lifestyle, man, you spend your whole life there with that kind of behavior and policies, you're never going to I think you're going to have a harder time, like being able to express yourself and live and feel like the benefits of impulse. Are all impulse is good? No, they're not. I've made terrible mistakes, and we've talked about some of them, but I'm also going to, be old one day and be like, I did some stupid shit and I'm glad I did.
If you've never done anything wrong, then you know nothing about consequences. And then you're probably making incorrect decisions at certain moments because you don't understand consequences because you've never had to have them because you've avoided them at all costs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here,
Fuck up.
here. Do
Fuck up.
stupid shit.
Do things wrong every once in a while. Embrace it. It is what it is.
Man, I wish I had like some recall today. I feel like we're speaking a lot of generalities, and I know I have like a ton of stories probably that echo all these things and illustrate them very well. I guess we shared a lot of them. I'll come up with some more. Hey, you know what else I was thinking? Since we're like our friendship is at an all-time high, is
What's
that you know maybe we can give relationship advice to people. And I was just I mean I just pulled this up. This is an impulse, you guys. You guys, I wasn't planning this. It's an impulse, but Reddit has a subreddit for relationship advice, and I was like, maybe let's pull it up and see if we can help some folks out. So I found one here
Okay.
that's probably the smallest paragraph because some of these are like really deep. But
if you can't get help by internet strangers,
says,
who can you get help from?
Yeah. So this is for user Wine O. I know. So my fiance, so this is a woman, a 25-year-old woman. My fiance, 30, the man, can't get over my 25 or 29-year-old past partners. So she says, it's been 4 people, 5 including him. We have been together 10 years and have a child together. I am the only person he has ever been with. So maybe that's why I'm feeling shamed by him. He is saying that I'm I'm just running through dicks. I have high mileage. He should have ran a Carfax before even dating me. I have friends that have had 50 plus partners. 5 seems low to me. Is he overreacting? Should I be ashamed of myself? Help. I don't know where to go from here.
How long have they been together?
10 years. So it seems like
but wait,
when he was 20, she was 19, they got together. So she had been with like 4 people before they were together.
And he's realizing now, like after 10 years, he's like, I don't understand. Now he's mad about my previous partners. Mm-hmm. Or did he like just find out?
He didn't live the impulsive. That's not a life worth living. I'm sorry. I hope they're really happy together. But that's the trouble of marrying the first person you sleep with when you're 19 years old or 20 years old. And like, you are missing out on life, not in like a way of like that life that you could spend with person could be fantastic and great and work out. But you're missing out on who you could become or the partners you could have and what you could experience and all the mistakes and the fun that come along with it. And 5 isn't that many. I don't think. Whatever. I don't even think you should. Yeah, you shouldn't put mileage on it. But I don't know what to tell this guy because this is gonna be with him forever.
I don't see the point. I don't care. Like I don't know. I don't see the point of learning about someone's past, especially if you're a person
like slut shaming
especially her. If you're a person who's concerned about it. Like, wouldn't you then just go ignorance is bliss concept? Like, why know about it? Like, if you know that that's the type of person. But also, I'm so confused. They've been dating for 10 years and have a kid, and now he's upset about her previous partners. Yeah. Running through dick. Yeah. She's been with the same guy for the last 10 years. That's not true. There's an underlying. Yeah, hold on. That's what it is.
Yeah,
there's an
so
underlying
5
situation.
Guys, I've only been with you.
He's like, so I get
there's
5
this girl
in the bag.
I like at work.
Yep, and she's got a friend.
I mean, I think there's. Yeah, what's the balance? I mean, I don't mind knowing about my partners, former partners, in a way. I mean, nobody's comfortable with like explicit detail, but I'm curious to know like what worked for somebody, what didn't. I mean, I've had detailed conversations with people, but I think it's like also, I don't know. It's like sort of maybe a maturing thing that happens when you've been through that, is knowing what matters about sexuality or partners and what doesn't matter. And it's like, does the number matter? I mean, not really. Does who you're with now matter? Probably. It probably matters.
Right.
And what do you take from who you were before into now that makes like the two of you work together? I mean, I don't know. Like, clearly, whatever. She's been with other people, but you're the one
in a row,
and she's clearly the one for you. And I don't know. it's weird to just count it and make that the important thing. The numbers.
Right. That's what I don't get. Is like, yeah, I'm not saying you're not learning from the experiences and stuff, but why are you asking numbers and so, like, why do you want that information? There's no positive to wanting that information, so I don't understand why you want it.
Yeah.
It can only be negative, right?
Maybe
You
you just
don't go
wanna know.
like
I think it's
6.
okay to know.
Perfect. Like that was the number I was hoping
Yeah,
for.
yeah. What's the right
Like,
number?
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I don't understand what the point of asking, but it doesn't change anything. So I don't understand the purpose of it. Like you can talk about, you can be not specific and get your points across of lessons you've learned from previous relationships. But why do you have to be like,
Yeah,
well,
it's
this
also like
person
the
used to blah blah
cringy,
blah?
creepy,
It's
like
like, yeah, like I don't like if you say like, oh yeah,
I can't believe you were with somebody before you were with me. Didn't you know I was
right,
out there
like
in the
it's so
world?
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's all just weird
Yeah.
and nonsense. And anyone who
Yeah.
says like, and I'll say right here, let's piss some people off. I haven't gotten aggressive about something. Yeah, it's just you're fucking dumb. You're it's a stupid, selfish, asinine way to look at things, to be upset that someone has an ex, regardless of who it is. Like if you know them or don't know them, like it sucks, but it is what it is. Like I've never think I've ever really had any relationship with like friends, exes and stuff, but I see that stuff all the time, especially coming from a fraternity. I have guys that married a girl that while we were in college, she was dating one of our fraternity brothers. Like it's happened multiple times. And it's like, and I always tell the guys is I'm like, well, she was always at our parties and stuff. I'm like, not that it was like anything scandalous happening to them, but like, but these guys' girlfriends make good friendships with other brothers because they're around all the time and stuff. So I'm like, it's not really horribly surprising that after you broke up, that maybe that friendship continues and turns into something else and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah, people worrying about the past so much regarding relationships. It's just I don't understand the positives from it. So it's all stupid to me.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell this girl, but wino, just dump them and go on that dick train again. That's what I'm saying. Get your kid out of there.
That's a bad guy. You gotta dump him, girl.
Yeah.
That's a bad guy.
Like I mean, that dude is definitely trying to cheat or something like that. He's like, let's even up these numbers.
He's
like,
cheated.
I got a kid. I've been 10
He's
years.
cheated, and now he's
Yeah.
trying to.
Oh, he's cheated.
He's trying to validate it, so that when it eventually comes out, he can be like, no.
This is why. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was your fault.
There you go.
That's a bummer. Yeah. I mean, I also think, I mean, whatever, too late now, but it's like, you got, if the kid, like that stuff that is kind of good to know or to talk about early on at some point, to be like, I don't know, I mean, maybe you didn't realize it till then. I mean, hey, here's this. Don't get married when you're 19. There you go. There's the advice.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't have a kid when you're 19. So, all you Gen Alpha-ers that are checking into a couple old dudes giving relationship advice, don't get married. I tell people that at work. Just don't. Don't do that. Just don't. I mean, you could have learned so much more about yourself. Wait, find the. I don't know. Look at me. I'm giving a relationship advice. Where do I get off?
One of our best reoccurring topics is your past relationships that are fleeing and the Texas adventure. And you're like, let me lay it down for you folks.
But who's better to speak about it? You know what? Failing is an important part of life. And when you rack them up like I do, you're a pro. You go pro.
Wow.
I'm pro failure. There you go. Yeah. That's all I got. Oh.
What?
I don't have anything else.
Oh.
I thought about I wrote up something. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. I guess we should
yeah.
I wrote something else down, but we'll save it. I thought about something fun in life. Like here, I'll prompt you for an action item for next week. Like think of maybe one of your favorite live TV moments that you've seen or witnessed. Some kind of like, is there like a cultural phenomenon or almost something that became a meme or some kind of like big thing that you either witnessed or saw as it happened? So maybe think about that.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down because that's gonna take me a second.
So something, I have something specific that's become a meme that I watched as it happened.
Like, is it
And I
like, are you
remembered
just
it the
saying
other
like
day.
a significant incident?
Like a
Or,
cultural moment that happened that
okay.
not that you witnessed in person, but that you were like, as it was happening, you were like
You remember how you
consuming it. Like,
processed it
holy
and everything
shit.
like that, that
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
later became,
So you could think of like Janet Jackson's nipple at Super Bowl, whatever. Like, I remember how that became a big thing. Like,
gotcha,
so
gotcha,
something on the
gotcha.
scale or something that happened that people know about or know about now. Um, and let's share that. You know what? Let's have an action item leaving here. Let's have it to do. The ask is to bring a story next week, 90 seconds that you can. Yeah.
We're really good with time
Ugh.
frames, so the 90-second window should really go into
Yeah.
effect. Well, I'm sure we'll time it
Hopefully
very
it'll
well.
stop. Yeah. We do have words. A new
Oh my
worder.
God.
A new strange worder. Caitlin O'Donnell enters the chat.
Okay.
There was a comment. It took me way too long. It commented on one of our last episodes, and it said "complain East vague," and I was like, "What does that mean?
Oh.
I don't know what that means. I don't understand.
How
Complain.
cryptic.
Was she complaining about? Yeah."
Com-
It took me too long. It took me like 15 seconds to realize that was a submission for 3 words.
complain, east, and vague.
Complain, East, and vague. Is this loaded? Is this a loaded setup?
I don't know,
Or are they
but
truly random?
how is the last word vague? Come up with a specific situation when something was vague.
Yeah.
What? Okay, complain east
Complain.
vague.
And then we got another one for the next week from
Okay.
Pistachio Kid, aka Bill.
Oh.
Change the name. I like it. Went incognito. Pistachio Kid, great handle. It sounds like the one Xbox gives you automatically.
Kinda, yeah. Like it's your
Pistachio
router
Kid.
password.
Yeah. Complain East and vague. And yeah, we can end it at a solid hour and 2 minutes.
Oh,
We rarely get the
so
chance
close.
to
We were right there.
Yeah.
Well, next time. 30 to
next
40
time.
minutes.
All right. Shram.
What the fuck? You have zero integrity, and you can't even refer to our listeners by our charming fan base name. All right, Shushmish, I'm good to see you, Band of Burger. See you later.